or staying put for the holidays, check out the 40% off plus free security camera deal before it ends this week. It won the CNET Editor's Choice for Home Security and was named Best of 2020 by Forbes and Popular Mechanics. The system has an arsenal of sensors and cameras that protects every inch of your home. You can set it up yourself in about 30 minutes. It's super easy. Then Simply Safe security specialists take over, monitoring your home around the clock and ready to send emergency help the moment there's an alarm. Get 40% off Simply Safe plus a free security camera today by visiting simplysafebubba.com. This deal expires soon. simplysafebubba.com or visit rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. This holiday season is all about the company.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Why is there a helicopter in the yard?
Never mind that. We have bigger issues.
Really? Bigger than a helicopter?
Your parents are going to be here for the big dinner, and the garbage disposal is making some crazy noise, and it wasn't Christmas music.
Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you tried shoving an entire sack of potatoes down the disposal.
It wasn't the entire sack, just most of it.
Now's not the time for more jokes, Mr. Funny Man.
Well, I did try to fix it, but...
Do you have to do this every holiday?
No, I did skip Easter.
What did we agree the rules are?
No more circus animals in the house.
No, not that one.
Oh, if water runs through it, call Mike Scott Plumbing.
Because they don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. So put down the blowtorch and pick up the phone.
Yes, dear. 866-314-4443.
And why is there a helicopter in the yard?
Oh, that? Black Friday sale.
Happy holidays from all of us here at Mike Scott Plumbing.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America. Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, including zero-turn mowers for your fence line finish, we also offer rototilling and fence row spraying. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Hey, you say you're looking for some real holiday color? Well, my friends, there's no better place to do just that while enjoying the great Florida outdoors than Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Bob has rolled out some great best values for decorating, for growing, and for gifting. Deals like these this week. Nice size poinsettias, regularly $5 each, now 3 for $12. Budded Christmas cactus, as low as $4.99, and gorgeous living, potted, sheared to perfection Christmas trees, starting at a low $49.99. Of course, larger sizes are available. Come get your first look at this year's Camellia Show Spectacular going on this week. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 3. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, in the same Christmas blooming place since 1952.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to the last half hour of a Tuesday edition of Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. Remember, it's going to be bitter cold tonight, down below 32 degrees. the exact reason Joe Martone moved from Connecticut and moved from North Carolina has followed him to Florida. Freezing weather. So make sure you take care of your plants, your pets. If you got a loved one that's a senior or special needs, go check on them. Make sure that they got heat or blankets, stuff like that, to make sure they're taken care of, because tonight's going to be cold for about 8 hours. It's going to be around the freezing mark.
8 hours?
Yeah.
What time was this?
The National Weather Service says from midnight to 8 a.m. we're under a freeze warning. That's pretty, that's a long period of time.
I wonder if there's any places that still sell the floodlights that are real floodlights.
Oh yeah, you can go to.
Careful.
You mean the real floodlight? No, the incandescent floodlights, almost impossible to find.
Yeah.
You can still go to places and get the fixtures that clip on to like wood and stuff that you can put the light bulbs in.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult now. You go find, and you can find some of the floodlights. They still put off heat. They just don't put off heat like they used to.
Yeah, those are the ones that you put in your well
right.
box, and you set it with a timer. Timer comes on at midnight, goes off at 8 or 9.
Right, and it keeps that way your pipes don't freeze.
Yeah.
Good idea for your plants and all. The pool floaties, the sticks, the pool, the long.
The noodles?
The noodles, thank you. The pool noodles.
What do you do with them?
You cut those.
Yeah.
And you can slice those open. And then wrap them around the
what?
The graft of your trees and stuff, especially your citrus trees and all.
You talking about the trunk?
And it insulates them, yeah. Uh-huh.
Trunk, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like you would use, the same way you'd wrap your pipes.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense, sure.
So I learned that from Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin.
Where was she on? Was she on the air?
Here, in the garden.
Wow.
I know.
Ooh, how tiny
Hey,
you
Joe,
are.
let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Let me ask you this question. Are you under or above the age of 65?
I'm above.
Okay. Well, you're in pretty good shape then. You're in group 1B right now. No, you're in group 2 actually. You're in group 2.
Careful where you thread.
There's 5 groups. 1B, 1A, 1B, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
What are these groups, you ask?
Tell me.
They're the groups and how they're going to distribute the
stimulus check.
No, the COVID-19 vaccine.
I'm not taking it.
1A is going to be the lineup. That's frontline healthcare workers.
Yeah.
1B is people with underlying diseases that put them at high risk or illness. 2 is people 65 and over. 3 is essential workers, and then finally healthy adults and children.
That's you.
So,
well, that's
but
you.
Some people are saying, wait, people in assisted living facilities need to be in that first group. They don't need to. You don't need to give healthcare workers and people in assisted facilities need to be in the 1A group. If assisted living facility doesn't need to be 1B. And I'm thinking, well, 1A and 1B, they're both 1. There can't be that much of a difference. And don't you want the healthcare workers that are on the front lines and in the healthcare facilities and living facilities, make sure that they're vaccinated against it?
Duh.
So that they don't bring it into the facilities?
Duh.
So, but
and then
why is this even an issue? That's what gets me.
And then they're talking like by April, everyone gets inoculated, and it's fine, and then the virus will go away.
Viruses don't go away.
They die.
They don't go away.
What happens to them?
They're still like the chickenpox virus. We learned yesterday from the GlaxoSmithKline guy, chickenpox virus, even though you get over the chickenpox and never have them again, the virus stays dormant in you until you get your immune system starts to weaken in your older age, and then chickenpox come back. We just call them shingles then.
Oh.
It's the chickenpox virus. Viruses don't go away.
That's why I'm not getting a shot. Right. Thank you very much.
Well, and now there's a bill been filed.
Stand, Mike. I can't hear you.
There's a bill been filed in the state house where, because we're weeks away from national distribution of the COVID-19 virus, Florida lawmakers Monday filed a bill that would eliminate the state's ability to require you to take the vaccine.
Hallelujah.
Known for several unsuccessful lawsuits challenging local government mask mandates, Anthony Sabatini of Howey in the Hills filed legislation, House Bill 6003, on the first day of bill filing. If the bill is passed and signed into law, it would not take effect until July 1st. In a pre-recorded video 2 weeks ago announcing the potential distribution of the vaccine, Governor DeSantis said the state would not force anyone to get a vaccine if they didn't want to, but now there's a House bill on the floor to make it a state law that you can't force people to take a vaccine, unlike California, which passed its House bill, which made it mandatory for everybody in school, for every kid to be vaccinated, or they would not be allowed in public or private schools. That's a law in California. If you don't vaccinate your child, no longer do parents get to make a decision
they did that
in California.
when I was growing up, when you polio, how many have those little marks on your
I don't. I went to a private school. We didn't have to have them.
Yeah, well, I didn't. So.
Right. But
you had the polio shots.
yeah, but the little circle with the gun shots and everything.
Right.
I don't have that.
Well, I do.
Yeah, well, a lot of people.
I got more because I went in the government and I got more.
But a lot of people did. But you made a choice. You went into. I don't know if you made a choice. I don't know if you were drafted. I don't know how your status was.
Let's see. It was during the draft, and my number was number 3.
So you volunteered to go before your number got called.
Oh, it got called.
Oh, it got called.
I went for the physical.
Right.
And as I walked out of the physical, that's when I started applying for all the other armed forces.
Right.
I didn't want to go to the Army.
No.
That's why I went to the Navy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that a government can tell you what is best for your child when you're a very, very good parent, it bothers me. And that's what California does.
It's a hard pill to swallow because I said.
But the government says safety. The government says safety is more important than freedom, is what the government of California has said.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
And I say if safety was more important than freedom, Concord and Lexington would never happen because it wasn't safe,
there we go.
safe to go fight the English.
Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't have, France would not have been liberated from the Nazis because it wasn't safe to go to Normandy.
Yep.
Okay?
I know.
Ho Chi Minh would have run all the way over South Vietnam into Korea, and he'd have Indochina and half of China by now.
Oh, yeah.
But he got stopped because safety wasn't as important as freedom.
Here you go, Tom.
So it aggravates.
You're on a roll today.
It aggravates me when people go, "Oh, we need to be safe." If the government wants to infringe upon our freedom rights so that we're safer, I'm okay with that, moron.
Well, what was it? Let's see. It was polio get a shot, and then there was a booster shot, and then there was this little cup that you drank, and I forget what that was when I was a kid. And but you're talking about freedoms. All right, here we go. And this is true. And if the man's outside right now listening to me, I apologize ahead of time, but I'm going to say it like it is. He just walked in the mall with a sheath on his side, and I would estimate the knife that he was carrying was like a Jim Bowie knife. Yeah, and it was in the but it was in the sheath. So that's like a 14-inch knife.
Probably.
On his side.
Yeah.
That's not a concealed weapon.
No.
Everybody can see it.
Yes.
How's he get? Well, your mic's not on. What happened to your mic?
I don't know, but now it's on.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know what happened.
I know what happened. Tom was running the board.
Probably. Look, if I had a board that was more automated.
No, that's Tom's got to be.
Dan Martone.
Tom's got to be more automated.
He'll
anyway,
send me a text message in a few seconds.
Yeah, you'll get it. Oh yeah, or I'll get it. Tell them shut them off. Yeah. Now, no,
I can't, Dan. He's running the board.
That's right. He's on the other end. By the time I get over there, he'll laugh at me. The gentleman that walked in the mall with his long knife on his,
right.
It started from his belt and almost went down to his knee.
Certainly.
It's strapped on one side, but that's a knife. That's a weapon.
Like Paul Hogan,
Yeah.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah.
In Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah. That was classic.
That's the kind of knife you were talking about he had on his side.
Approximately. Now, is that against the law?
I don't know. I would think.
Well, if he has a concealed weapon, well, you can't see the knife, all you see is the handle. No.
You know it's in the sheath.
Duh, unless it's going to be one of those Monty Pythons. Oh, oops.
Ooh.
Oops. Yeah.
But how do you balance, Joe?
What's
freedom and safety?
Is that safe? Are we infringing on his right to carry it, or are we afraid of our own safety because he is carrying it?
Well, that goes to the argument that, you know, Joe Biden says one of the first things he'll do when he is inaugurated, if he is he will sign an executive order banning the sales of AR-15s and AK-47s.
That's just
and
a
I
rifle.
have a friend of mine who is a gun enthusiast.
Okay.
He has his fair share of AK-47s and AR-15s.
Yeah.
And he did an experiment last year where he put his AR-15 in the corner of his office with a camera, one of these
little mini cameras,
on it. And he kept the webcam on there for 7 straight days, 24 hours.
It didn't move, did it?
After 7 days, sure enough, that gun hadn't killed anybody.
Wow. Really?
Do we need to ban the gun, or do we need to ban morons from buying the gun?
That's a hard one.
It is. But
So he wants to take the easy road. If you ban the gun, the morons can't get the gun. But the crooks never can buy the guns on the other side of the road because they don't register guns.
Right. It makes about as much sense to me as if a guy remember the old Buick Electric 88s, those big old long Buicks they had in the early
boat.
70s, yeah.
The boat.
Big old things. They look like a knockoff of a Cadillac Brougham or something.
Yeah, but when it hits a bump, it goes. Whoa.
Right, exactly that car. If a drunk driver gets in that car and comes around the downtown square and mows down 50 people on the square because he's drunk, and he kills 50 people by running them over this big old car, we outlawing the car.
Of course. Of course.
No, we're not. Isn't it the same thing?
Tom, I agree with you. It's crazy. I mean, it's dumb, da-dum, dumb.
Chris Rock had it right.
What did he say?
Chris Rock, the comedian, had it right. You don't ban guns. It's our God-given right by the Constitution of the United States to own a firearm.
Oh, yeah.
Says in the Second Amendment.
You know what I get?
He said, but it says nowhere in the Second Amendment does it say you have a right to own bullets. He said, so make one bullet $5,000. People will think before they shoot somebody.
Yeah.
What? You ain't worth $5,000.
No warning shot. No warning shot. Too expensive.
Yeah.
You know what gets me is you walk towards a building, and they got this little plaque or a little decal on the glass, and it shows a firearm with a red
With the Buster sign to it.
Yeah, and no firearms.
This is a firearm-free area.
Right. You can't come in with a firearm.
Well, that means law-abiding citizens can't come in with a firearm.
Aha! So I'm a law-abiding citizen. I walk in there, and there's a crook in the corner with his on his side going, dumbass.
There was a story yesterday in the paper about a wedding in Georgia where a bride got shot in the leg
because
a 16-year-old gangbanger who was at the wedding, the gun fell out of his pocket, hit the ground, discharged, and shot her.
Now, there's a wedding story and a half for you.
Here's what the cops wrote. The gun was unregistered. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
The gun was. I just found it outside on the ground, officer. I brought it in here for safety because I don't want no one to get it.
All banning guns will do is ban them from legal ownership.
That's true.
Okay, don't think for a minute. You know where they don't have. You know where guns are illegal. You're not allowed to own them as a citizen. England. Yet they have armed robbery all the time over there.
Gee, how's that happen?
Because crooks don't listen to the law.
Yeah, go, Pilgrim. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They just don't. You know what else happens in England? You see a lot of these terrorist attacks. What are the terrorists using? Knives, and they go into a public square and stab people to death and everything. You know where that doesn't happen? In an area where somebody can have a concealed carry permit. Guy stabs 2 people, shot in the head. Oh, well, sorry.
Oh, yeah. There was some political man, I forget which one it was, and he said, you know, you shouldn't kill him. He didn't have a lethal weapon. He had a knife. Shoot him in the leg. A knife is a lethal weapon, fella.
A knife can kill you.
No kidding. No kidding.
A car is a lethal weapon.
Yeah. Well, a knife. You're coming at me with a knife, and I have a gun in my hand.
Well, you hear the.
And I'm going to say, I'm going to shoot you in the leg because that'll stop you from throwing the knife at me. Well, I don't think so.
Brevard County right now is facing, the Brevard County Sheriff's Department is facing all kind of uproar because a 17-year-old African-American youth was shot through his car window and killed about, I guess it was May or June, And they want the dash cam footage and all, and the footage shows that he's in his car, he backs the car up and turns it and drives towards a deputy that's up in a yard. The deputy shoots and kills him. Everybody's saying, well, he didn't have to use lethal force. I mean, he could have shot the tire out or something. Huh?
That's not going to stop the car?
His car at the cop. If you're going to drive a vehicle towards a law enforcement officer that is telling you to stop with their gun drawn and you end up dead, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
That's right. That's right. And the other thing is, you mentioned that he was African American. You didn't need to. You shouldn't have to.
No, but that's the key. That's the key to this whole argument.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have to. You should have said that person or this person, not the African American or this white person. It should be an American. Period.
The person that was operating the vehicle got killed because they drove it towards a cop.
Bingo. Wipe color off.
But
of
that's not how we
color
operate.
shouldn't have anything.
I agree with you, but that's not how things are happening.
That's wrong.
But that's
what we need to clean up.
That's happening in Brevard County right now. And by the way, if that kid had run that cop over, who knows how the cop could have died, brain damage? You don't know what could have happened.
Then what would the headline read?
Right. Oh, but he shouldn't have killed that. He couldn't have. And they keep referring to him. The child had no chance at life once the cop decided to take his life from him. What was he planning to do with that car?
Well, yeah. Well, how about the cop's
He
life?
backed up, turned, and drove towards the cop. What's the cop supposed to do? Jump up on the hood of the car?
This isn't the movies, fellas.
No. This isn't Sergeant Murtaugh and Riggs in Lethal Weapon.
Right.
This is two lethal weapons.
And it's not Beverly
a cop trained to use a gun and a kid in the car trying to run the cop over.
It's not Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, or 3.
The trained lethal weapon stopped the other lethal weapon.
Yeah. The operator thereof.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yes.
And did the car kill the cop? No, because the operator of the car ceased.
And the foot came off the pedal, and it slowed right down to nothing.
But a car can be used as a deadly weapon.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Happens all the time. We had 4, 5, 6 years ago, the record driver and the Florida Highway Patrol officer that were killed on the interstate because a car.
That was sad.
It was an accident. The people didn't mean to kill him, but a car can be used as an instrument of death just because it's 4,000 pounds of metal that's moving.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
But for people to only single out guns, people go, Tom, you're simplifying it. No, I'm not.
That's just part of the iceberg.
How many people die every year in this country because some moron gets behind the wheel of a car drunk? Huh? Answer that question for me. I bet more die that way than they do from gun use, legal gun use, legally owned guns.
Oh, so the people that got shot for the illegal guns you don't know about, right?
The mass shooters and all, usually the people that do the mass shooters, like the one that happened in Vegas and all, are done by people that went and got the guns legally and got them registered, but they were just nutbags. How many murders are committed every year by guns that aren't registered? That, by the way, when you take guns from me or any law-abiding citizen, the crooks aren't turning their guns in.
Oh, what was it? Australia? All the guns were turned in and everything? And the crime went
skyrocketed.
Why? Because they took my gun.
City like Kennesaw, Georgia?
I don't know that.
Where Kennesaw, Georgia, it's a suburb of Atlanta.
Thank you.
Bedroom town of Atlanta.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
There was an
Suburbs.
ordinance passed in Kennesaw 30 years ago where if you live inside the city limits of Kennesaw, you must own a firearm.
Oh, they've done that in Tennessee. Is that Tennessee or Texas?
No, it's in Georgia.
But I think they've done it also other places,
Crime plummeted in that area.
Let's see.
It's almost non-existent now.
Well, we're going to go rob. Wait a minute. This place, they all have guns. It's an ordinance. They all have to have guns.
The reason.
I don't think. I'm stupid, but I'm not going to go there anyway.
The reason Switzerland stays neutral, somebody goes, oh, because they're landlocked and they got all those mountains. No. People, there's a lot of rich timber and all in Switzerland. There's a lot of reasons people would want to occupy Switzerland. Switzerland has a population of about 7 million people.
Okay.
It is required in Switzerland, as I think it should be in this country, but that's a whole different argument. It is required in Switzerland that everybody, when they graduate high school, before they can go to college, they have to do 2 years in the Swiss Army. Have to. Swiss military. Got to take the training. Where we differ in the United States and Switzerland is at the end of your tour, like when you left the Navy, you gave back what the Navy had issued you. your rifle and stuff like that you gave back if you were issued one.
Right.
In Switzerland, when you get done,
It's yours.
you take the rifle home with you. So Switzerland has 7 million
Rifles out.
military-trained rifle owners. Nobody's attacking Switzerland.
Well, that's okay. On that note, America per se, I don't know what the president. I don't know you're the number guy, but I think that is stopping a lot of the terrorists from attacking America because we are armed.
Yes and no.
To the point.
Yes and no. It's stopping them from attacking a lot of areas that are well armed. You're not going to see Dallas bombed. Chances are Georgia's safe. Chances are a place like Michigan, Illinois, Michigan's safe because they have an open carry law in Michigan.
What about Chicago? Yeah, right.
Chicago, ripe for terrorist activity. By the way, New York City, there's a reason they pick on New York City.
Why?
Because it has the strictest gun laws of anywhere in the country. So the chances of anybody but police having guns up there are slim and none, unless they're criminals.
Oh.
Then they all got guns.
Yeah. So,
and by the way,
how stupid, and that's the only word I can think of, how stupid can government be to say, well, we're going to do it? It doesn't work.
Well, we're going to find out.
It doesn't work.
We're going to find out. Executive order, we're going to find out. I like ruining your Tuesdays.
Yeah, this is supposed to be my fun time.
Yeah, well, it's cold outside. I'm a little aggravated.
You got? I didn't look. You wearing shoes or flip flops?
I got pants.
Shoes or flip flops?
Oh, I still got flip flops. Calm down.
When flip flops go off? Tomorrow, maybe.
Maybe I may wear socks with them. I don't know. 'Cause I got flip flop socks. So
You are a true Floridian. Socks and flip flops.
I'd like to thank my guest today, Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin with In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Oh,
of course,
yeah.
Auto repair with personal care, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. And it was good, raining on Joe's parade and getting him aggravated about
You got me. You got my juices
law-abiding
flowing.
citizens.
Yeah.
Hey, and remember, go tell the county commission, call the county commission. Tell the county commission what you think about their idea of possibly purchasing.
So when they vote on that?
They're talking about it today.
When did they vote on it?
They hadn't said. They were just saying if there was interest today.
Ah.
See you tomorrow.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The FBI is now involved. The feds are using voter fraud information collected by the Amistad Project.
What our data show is what we call the blood in the street. It's after the crime is committed, and what evidence is there to show that a crime has been committed.
The project's director, Philip Klein, on Newsmax TV.
And we've come up with tens of thousands of Republican ballots that were not counted. We've come up